Hi there and welcome to this little tutorial about the Roland JD-XA and its test menu. The device was built from 2015 and some devices are therefore almost 7 years old at this point in time. This little video should show you what to do before you buy a used device. In the service test mode, the main functions and the internal hardware of the device are checked. Take the time to do these short checks, so you're on the safe side, getting an intact device and enjoying it for a long time. First, let's take a look at the version number, so we have the same status here. To do this, we go to the menu and use the arrow keys to go to the right end of the version info item and press enter. The current version is 1.5 or 1.52 is also possible, but makes no difference. Next, we plug a USB stick into the port on the back. Then we select the utility USB memory format and set the USB stick to the correct Roland format. Confirm with enter. We will then create a backup in the same menu, since we will carry out a factory reset later if necessary. You can change the name here to save several configurations later. Confirm again with enter and save the backup. But now let's enter the service test mode. To do this, we switch the JD off once, keep the keys 1, 3 and 5 pressed while we switch the machine on again at the back. We keep the buttons pressed until all LEDs on the device start light up. At this point, verify that each LED lights up and also the little displays. Now we can already see the first of the 25 test items, namely the application number and the date, but that's not so exciting. We cannot carry out a few of these tests in practice because special measuring devices such as oscilloscopes would be required. Also, not everyone is familiar with measuring audio signals and measuring devices. In the overview, I have deleted these tests from the list. Of course, we will carry out the basics and important tests here without any tools. You can exit the test at any time by simply switching off the device at the back. And don't worry, you can't destroy or misadjust anything in this test menu. With the arrow key to the right, we get to the device check. Here all memories such as RAM, ROM, flash, as well as processors and interfaces are checked. Every point should get an OK. At NG we have a problem that should be looked at more closely. When all tests have been completed, we are prompted to remove the USB stick. When you have removed the USB flash drive, the machine goes to the next test point. This is the USB overcurrent, but it's not necessary. We skip this point by pressing Shift and the right arrow button. Now we test the Midi in and output. For this we connect a simple Midi cable from the input to the output, and then we can read the connect in the loop test. By disconnecting the Midi cable, the machine goes automatically to the next step. Now we test the 4 encoders of the LFO, oscillator and filter types. To do this, we simply turn the 4 pots once to the left and once to the right. You can check the function in the display. When the stops are reached, it goes automatically to the next potty. Now we check all buttons for function. The respective key lights up and you press it. It's a bit like Senso, this old game for kids. For the buttons and switches which have no LEDs, just refer to the display and press it, and after that it will turn over to the next test point. Now we check the LED of the controllers and knobs. To do this we simply switch to the next LED by pressing enter every time. And the same for every segment of the little displays. Now let's check the display. As you can see, mine is a bit darker on the right side. Then there is a contrast check after that, and you simply step through by hitting the enter key several times. In the next step, we verify the operations of volume, pitch bend and modulation lever, modulation wheels, pedals and the keyboard aftertouch. For that, just turn the wheels and the mod and pitch bender. For aftertouch, press firmly on one of the keys. Now you can verify the function of the input jacks for all possible pedals. If you have no pedal, just press Shift and the right arrow to skip this test. Now it's time to check out the rest of the pods and faders. Simply turn and slide all of them until the values from 0 to 127. When it's reached, the test automatically jumps to the next control element. Now we are at the point to skip some tests because special tools were needed. To do this, we just press Shift and hit the right arrow button until we reach the point for the WaveRom. Now we verify the results of the check of the entire waveform from the digital engine, so these are all samples from the machine. In this point you can verify the muting operations. For that you have to connect the headphones to the phone's jack and verify that the sound is heard. You can use the master volume knob to adjust the volume and verify that the sound is muted only when enter is pressed. Now we reached the end of the test menu. If you want, you can perform a factory reset to put all values back to the factory default settings. If you don't want to do this, just switch off the machine. In my case, I will do it. So now we finished everything and the machine goes to ERP power off. When you now push right, the machine will turn completely off. For the end, I'll show you how you restore the previously saved backup. To do this, go to Utility, Backup, Restore, select your backup and press Enter. Okay, that was the quick run through of the JD-XA test menu. I hope it was some help to you and you can avoid one or the other mistake when buying a used machine. Please give me a thumb up if you liked it or write me something in the comments. Cheers, see you next time.